I would suspect it's around a third of the way around the globe, so about 8,000 miles.
Section 3 is a memory test.
8175 backwards.
5718.
And Section 4 is a test of our spatial ability, the ability to reproduce a pattern with a set of blocks.
Wow, that was tough. That's tough. Did a lot of people get this one in 2 minutes?
I can't see how that works.
Common sense might tell us that we are good at some of these sections, but bad at others. But in this case, common sense is wrong. On average, if we're good at one of these sections, we tend to be good at all of them. And from this comes the idea that intelligence is some kind of general, all-round ability. To the professionals, it's now known by a single small letter, G.
If you are good at one thing, you tend to be good at many things.
Highly educated Nathan and quantum physicist Seth Lloyd seem to have plenty of G. So far, they're doing well in all the sections.
Excellent. It's 25 seconds. It's incredibly fast.
So what about artist Stella Vine? She left school at 13.
I've never taken an exam in my life.
Stella Vine exhibits her pictures around the world and sells them for several £1,000s each.
This is my son and myself, like a long time ago.
She is self-taught, not just at art, but at everything.
I remember when I was 12, I was in a poetry class, and in some ways I didn't really have a clue what the poem was about, but it meant stuff to me. There was something. And the teacher said, no, you're wrong, it's this. And I just switched off. Just like, if I can't interpret that poem, what it means to me, then there is nothing here for me in this room. So you've just confirmed to me that I am now leaving the education system. So it's quite dramatic.
So, from the age of 13, Stella had no more academic education. Now, clearly, Stella is articulate and intelligent. Isn't she?
What does an entomologist study?
Entomology.
Yes, indeed. Can you define entomology, please? What about this one, fallacious?
Fellatio. Fallacious. Don't think I know. No idea.
Stella is coming up against the flip side of G.
Just, again, I don't really know.
If you're poor in one section of the IQ test, you're likely, on average, to be poor on most parts. And on our tests, Stella is struggling. Don't forget, she'd never taken any exam or tests before in her life.
Thank you very much for coming to see me and making such valiant efforts.
Just exhausted, really, and, you know, sort of almost the point of either crying or throwing the pen in the air, something like that.
I find it quite tricky, actually. I wouldn't rewrite it. I think it's a nonsense. But one thing that was useful in the test, I've asked the sound man to give me a soundtrack of the test because it's got interesting sounds. It's a very interesting acoustic here, and I can use it for electronic music.
I don't think it was too hard.
It's only our first test, but based on a range of very difficult IQ problems, the results were predictable. Well, almost. In third place, fighter pilot Gary. In second place, IQ specialist Nathan. He was beaten to our top spot by quantum physicist Seth Lloyd. But when we announced the winner, there was an immediate objection.
So I would actually like to say this is unfair because actually these tests were things that fit extremely closely with what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Seth's modesty at coming top in the IQ-type problems shows why some people think the IQ test is flawed.
And that means the electron, in some funky quantum sense, reads 0 and 1 at the same time. One could say...
Is Seth good at the tests merely because of what he does every day?
My job consists of trying to solve hard mathematical problems related to the physical world, like, how does a black hole evaporate, for instance. I'm constantly pushed to the very edge of what I can actually do.
It might be a little bit harder.
So it's actually fun for me to do something like these puzzles, which are relatively easy.
Or are the tests capturing something essential about Seth? Perhaps we should simply say he has a high G, a high general intelligence, as revealed by the tests, and that this means he is the most intelligent, the winner. But no, it's not all over yet.
Not even test manufacturers would say the result of this test will tell you how intelligent somebody is. They would say it's a small component of making those judgments and that you should be looking at a much broader spectrum of skills, abilities and aptitudes.
The IQ test looks at a lot of old knowledge, like what the